Welcome back to C-Suite Unfiltered. I'm Mike. That's Lee. I have a question, something on topic.
I love it.
Okay, so our very first episode, do you remember what we talked about?
We talked about, let me think. I'm trying to remember like the titles. I think Liver King, for sure. Yes.
Okay, so
Liver King for sure was a topic, but I don't remember the rest.
Okay, so have you heard what's happened to Liver King?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So what's your thoughts on this?
I think...
Okay, so for those people who don't know, Liver King,
yes,
guy who basically is jacked and over the past year has grown a massive social media following and has consistently said that he is not on steroids, does no PEDs, etc. Comes out this week that he is, only after someone got a hold of an email from between him and his doctor basically asking for the juice. And yeah, so what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think...
Since we have to backtrack what we said now.
We do have to backtrack. Well, we said he was genuine in the way he gave a gift. Yeah. I mean, obviously, it's recorded. We can go back, and if I misspeaking, I take it back. But I think my comments were he was genuine in the way he was giving a gift to Graham. And I think I've always been a little bit in the Joe Rogan camp. And Joe Rogan, from day one, Liver King came on the scene and said, there's no way that guy's natural. Yeah. And Joe Rogan has done the circuit. He's been in ultimate fighting sports. He knows athletes. The guy himself is a ridiculous athlete. He fought in the UFC. Like, he knows what he's doing. And not that I take everything Joe says to heart, but I was like, if anyone knows, it's probably him, because I think about, like, Joe Rogan knows John Bones Jones, who's one of the best UFC fighters of all times, but struggled with PEDs. So, like, Joe Rogan has seen guys use PEDs. He's been exposed to that world. So I never thought he was 100% natural, to be honest. Yeah. Do I think he could still be a genuine guy? Yes, but he still lied to everyone's faces, like, straight up.
Yeah. Like, very directly. Mm-hmm. And so I think this is the funny thing. I think if he would have had kudos to him for having a very well thought out strategy.
Yes.
Like, the emails to his doctor were like, within 1 year, I want to have X amount of followers on Instagram. I'm hiring a full-time film crew to be live at my house.
Right.
And he basically just did exactly what he said. So shout out to them for doing that. Yeah. However, what's I think is funny is everyone's liking Derek from More Plates, More Dates. However, Derek also takes steroids and different types of drugs. But because he's open and honest with it, everyone just seems like that's okay. Right. What's funny is everyone's mad at Liver King, but the guy exposing him and pulling all this off everyone's eyes is the fact that he's on them too. Yeah. But he's been honest about it. Yeah. And so I think what Liver King could have and should have done is just been like honest about that part, but then, like, here's all the ancestral things that, quote unquote, help me with my depression and all the rest of it, if you wanted to bring that up. Yep. Which would still be a sales pitch, but at least you're telling the truth. Yeah. And so I think ultimately anyone on social media, eventually it catches up with you. Yeah. You cannot go to the grave if you're showing everything in your life without being exposed on things like that.
Yeah. My least favorite part is just the blunt dishonesty.
Yeah, dude.
Right? Like,
and mocking that you would even ask.
Because, so I'm self-proclaimed stoolie. I listen to a lot of Barstool content, and he was on Pardon My Take, and of course they asked, right? And so all the Pardon My Take guys are just the average American guys. So they all went shirts off when Liver King came in. They all went shirts off, which was fantastic. And they asked him straight up, they were like, we gotta ask, like, do you take steroids? And this one, if you heard some of his snippets on podcasts, this one he gets really serious, and you're like, is he maybe gonna, like, announce it on, like, Barstool, like the biggest sports podcast in the world? Pardon My Take, they're number one ranked for like 3 years now. I was like, maybe he is. Like, he takes a super long pause. He's like, I like you guys a lot. Like, I gotta be honest with you. I love your platform. I take PEDs. I prioritize, execute, dominate every day. And I was like, bro.
So corny. But you know what's funny is, like, this is the thing that I learned being more introspective of myself is, like, okay, although I had initial red flags, I let someone's good acting overrule what in the first few minutes. Like, I remember telling you, we talked about this. Like, the first I was like, nah, like, I don't like this guy. Yeah. He's too airy-fairy, blah, blah, blah. But, like, because of him doing a good deed, it somehow, like, at least gave him a pass. And so in my mind, that was a check for me, like, going forward with any human being. It's like, look, like, trust your instincts. Yeah. Regardless of what someone does externally.
I think, like, the bigger conversation about his rise to fame is, what do we as a society, like, really care about, and, like, what really offends us? Because I can sit here and be like, okay, was he, like, selling snake oil a little bit, right? He was doing his products and saying I'm all natural, and then in the end, on the side, he's actually taking steroids. So he's selling snake oil and using a different product. That's a blatant lie. But I'm like, but all these celebrities lie about their status, their tax returns, the cars they drive, what's the chemicals in their lips, like Botox. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, to me, I guess I don't really care that much about celebrities. So it didn't like I was like, whatever. He lied. Celebrities lie all the time, but I think it opens the door. And I am a self-proclaimed not a fan of this guy, is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, also on PEDs.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. But he's the same way. He's like, oh, I'm all natural.
No, not a chance. But he avoids the conversation.
Right.
He doesn't get on platforms where they openly and ask him for it. Like, is this X, Y, and Z?
Yeah.
But like, if you ran for president, guarantee that'll come out. People will ask for a blood panel and he will not pass.
Would you vote for Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson?
Not a chance, dude. Just because you can fight and put a bunch of steroids does not mean I'm going to vote for you as a president.
Yeah. So I guess walk it back a little bit. I did say he was a genuine guy, but I think it was the way he gave a gift, which whether you're taking PEDs or not, you can give someone a gift and be genuine about.
True.
So I don't know. I think it was garbage the way he lied. And you bought a supplement, so as a consumer, using my gift card,
you gave me,
so double jeopardy, I think is what they call that. So do we get an apology letter, or are you going to still take the supplements?
You still have half the bag left.
Yeah,
the protein powder is pretty good. I enjoy it.
Does it feel good? Do you feel like it's comparative to other stuff you use?
It's protein.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, people get way too much into these sales stuff. Like, it's macros. You have protein, you have carbs, you have fats. It's basic stuff. So
but now we just don't have to eat liver. Raw liver.
Thank goodness. Have you ever actually had liver?
No.
It's not good.
Gosh.
It's not good. I actually had some liver a few weeks ago from a moose. My brother-in-law shot a moose, and then he came back and fried up the liver. Dude, it is gross. I'm sure he didn't know how to cook it correctly.
Well, yeah.
But it was like eating sponge that had no taste, but it was pretty nasty.
What about the rest? Did you get like a nice little steak or some jerky?
What, of the elk?
Of like
the
dude. Actual...
The ground meat, it's so lean, it's so good. I love it.
Yeah, dude. Love that. I love game meat. It's delicious. Yeah. So, Liver King. I'm glad you brought that up, man.
Yeah, dude.
Glad you brought that up.
I'm keeping you honest, bro. We're fact checking you right. We're only 5 or 6 episodes in, and we got to fact check you already, bro.
Got a hand up.
Gonna cancel you, bro.
Please don't. I don't know. Actually, it was a perfect transition. I think you're just gaslighting me.
Gaslighting, okay?
Which is Webster Dictionary's
I've been
word of the year.
In a deposition to me, I was convicted of gaslighting.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's Webster's Dictionary 2022 word of the year.
I had to look it up, bro.
Yeah.
I was like in the pre-legal doc. I was like, what?
It's trippy. I've heard it said, and I had to look it up too. I mean, I have the definition. I guess we don't have to really get into it, but I just thought it was funny that was Webster's word of the year. And they do it every year, and there's a lot of anticipation. People are like, what's going to be the word of the year? Is it going to be something like funny or gimmicky or like a big meme that came along or, something with Trump or Biden? Who knows?
I remember I saw it in the documents prior to trial, and I had to go through them and stuff. So, yeah. I honestly, this past year, I haven't had as much legal stuff as usual.
That's good.
It's been pretty good. I think I nailed things like down really well.
Yeah.
Less
gaslighting.
They convicted me. I got out of that one. I didn't have to pay anything.
I feel like gaslighting. Maybe we should talk about it a little bit. So I do have the definition. I have the long form definition.
Yeah.
Okay. So from Webster. So like if it takes this long to define a word, I think there's like
you get the word of the year.
Yeah. Well, I think maybe express caution when using it. If you need to clarify this much what a word means, and we throw it around on social media all the time, I'm like, let's take a step back. Like, does it actually mean what you think it means, right? So gaslighting is the psychological manipulation of a person, usually over an extended period of time, that causes the victim to question the validity of their own thoughts, perception of reality, or memories. Typically leads to confusion, loss of confidence, self-esteem, uncertainty of one's emotional or mental stability, and the dependency on the predator.
Yeah.
That's a long definition.
Yeah. And so, there's legal protections around who, like, if that's done in, like, a workplace, for example. So someone convicted me of that, basically. Yeah. So I just have to prove that I wasn't.
Which I think it's interesting because perception of reality, I don't like that that's, like, just kind of thrown in the middle. Because in my opinion, my humble opinion,
theological,
there's one reality. So it's like you can...
So you don't believe that perception is reality?
No.
Okay.
I think there are some visuals.
Your perception's just wrong.
Yeah, your perception's just wrong.
Reality is what it is, and your perception is
I think that perception perception provides additional depth to what is reality.
Does it?
Yeah. Because if like people use the analogy, like a horrible analogy, like, okay, if you and I had never seen an iPhone before and I held it up and then you were asked, describe an iPhone. You would describe circles and a flat, nice, sleek back, and I would describe a bright screen with numbers on it and buttons on the left side, and you'd say buttons on the right side.
Right.
So neither of us are wrong. We just had a separate perception, right? Yeah. So we each added to the reality that was an iPhone. We just had different perceptions on it. Does that make sense?
Well, that's perspectives. Is that the same thing as perception?
I would say, as I don't know if those are interchangeable.
I don't think so, because I think perspective would assume that we have different angles on it, whereas perception would assume that we're both looking at the same thing, but we perceive it differently. That is deep. Okay, next question. We're going to perception versus perspective. Is
perception then like an elicit an emotional response?
Likely. I think most anywhere, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyways, gaslighting. That's our word of the year for 2022. I hope everyone's happy about that. Some people were upset, though. I wanted this to stem into a different conversation. Some people were upset.
Oh, I thought you were saying about the Liver King. I was gaslighting you about the Liver King.
Yeah, you were. You distorted my perception, and now I'm dependent on you as my predator.
I got to carry the rest of the episode.
But some people were upset. They thought it should have been quiet quitting. So quiet quitting is a big movement. You probably are very aware of this as a business owner. A lot of business owners listen to this podcast. So, what are your thoughts on quiet quitting, the movement that it has been, the fact that it's even being considered like this could have been the word of the year because it was used so much in, years ago, it didn't exist. And now it's an everyday language and we all know what it is. So for those who don't know, would you mind explaining kind of what quiet quitting is as a boss, as the owner of multiple companies and your thoughts on quiet quitting?
Yeah, quiet quitting. So basically the gist of it is you don't quit your job, but you do as little as possible to keep your job. And I actually am not against it. To the extent that some would. Like some people would say it's the generation is lazy and blah, 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 blah. I really think that like if someone's quiet quitting, it's not their fault. It's the leader's fault. Like if you're actually going to take ownership of your business and for the people that you're leading, it's your fault that you didn't create the accountability, the pay incentive and structure, as well as the culture and something people want to go for and actually really strive towards. And so it's your fault ultimately. That being said, there are some people who just want to work their whatever hours. They want to make a certain paycheck and they want to go home. And that's fine. And so in our culture, that doesn't usually fly. Usually people don't stick around very long because we push, right? And so that's why you see like at Twitter, all these people leaving because now it's like, hey, you're going to actually work hard now. So it's just a different culture. However, in a quiet quitting, I don't think it's a bad thing if someone's like, hey, I care 99% of my life, I want to revolve around my kids. And I'm going to take a job that I can, do the minimum amount of work and get paid my hourly wage and just scrape by through life. But I don't care about the money. I don't care about getting ahead. I just want to spend time with my kids. And I think that's fine.
Right.
Because the person that has quiet quit on their job might be 110% on their kids. I personally, you could say I quiet quitted on my personal relationships.
Yeah.
I'm all in on my business. So it's like, it's just a matter of like, you're not going to be in balance in one direction or the other. Now, it just so happens because people have had money in their bank accounts for the past couple of years that we can quiet quit on our job. It's actually something we can do. And it's come down to a mid and lower level class that can actually afford to do that. So I don't think it's bad. I think it's just a matter of focus and attention. And as we go into recession, it will no longer be a thing. It'll just get wiped out. Because now quiet quitting means you're on the streets. Yeah,
because it's a more competitive workplace.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And they're going to cut where they have to cut to save money.
Yeah, because the past while, if you had a satisfactory performance, you were like not only staying, you were like promoted. You could just show up and you'd be like, great. That all changes in a recession.
Right.
And when unemployment goes up 5, 6, 7%, like you're going to get cut if you're just trying to go to work just to hit the minimum. So it's just a matter of, I think, priorities, which is fine for someone to do it. It just might not be a good workplace if that's not what your manager wants. So like find the workplace that quiet quitting is okay. Like be a person that checks people out when they're going out of like a valet, or like be a cashier in a very slow store in a mall.
Yeah.
Like you can quiet quit.
Yeah.
And be great.
Yeah. Yeah, I think one of the points you kind of started with, obviously you were talking more from your perspective and as a leader, you did a phenomenal, it's one of my favorite YouTube videos you've done, is the 5 effective models of leadership or 5 effective types of leadership. I don't remember the title, but you did 5 circles and the outermost circle was force. And I feel like that no longer really exists for the most part in Western society, right? There's still, unfortunately, work camps and slavery in certain areas and, human trafficking and all that stuff. So force is still out there, but it is the margins now. Like, we don't force people to do stuff anymore.
I should talk about this at conference.
You should talk about this at conference.
I did. I remember thinking of
this.
It
was a really good video.
In the middle of the night.
It's a phenomenal video.
It was original, bro. I hadn't even seen anything.
Yeah, it was good.
It's like popped in my head.
The shirt wasn't good.
Well, I don't even remember what it was.
It was a bad shirt.
Really? What was it?
It was, I don't know. It was like black with a weird collar.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Dude, it's the middle of the night. What do you expect, bro?
Yeah, I'm just saying. So, outermost circle.
I don't have a producer.
It's true. I got my producer, Sarah.
Sorry.
And then my wardrobe, Ashley Diaz. Shout out Ashley for the sweater. So the outermost circle is force. You're not going to force people to work anymore. So they can quiet quit. Like, you can't just force them. They could real quit. They can just leave. The secondmost circle, innermost circle, was positional authority. And I think that's where maybe quiet quitting almost stems from, is that, well, the boss is the boss because he says he's the boss. And like, why would I work harder for the boss? Like, why would I work harder? And then I think the third is now what you said, which is incentive, which essentially would be your paycheck. And I think that's maybe where people are really, like, the buck stops with incentive because they feel that they're underpaid, they're undervalued, and there's a position over them just forcing them to do their job. So they're just, well, I'll do the bare minimum and take what I can. Right. And I think leaders out there need to focus on the 2 most inner circles that you talk about. One is passion, leading with passion, but that's not going to get you there. Just getting people excited and having fun team meetings. You need to have vision. You need to have a philosophy as to where you're going to get there and how you're going to get there, and then bring your team along on that journey. So I think, just to your comment on, like, to the leaders listening, don't be freaked out by quiet quitting. Look in the mirror is what I would say first. If you see people quiet quitting, and I think, having managed some of your teams at Augusta, I think I've seen it, but I didn't react. I didn't manage. I didn't own it. And I didn't think, well, how can I bring passion back into their job? How can I show them the vision that you've shown me and that I can show them about Augusta and what we're doing? So just look in the mirror is, I guess, what I would say about, like, quiet quitting if you feel like your employees are doing that.
Yeah. If someone's out is there and they're like, hey, I'm an employee, but I don't want to quiet quit. Like, I want more out of life. You should be thrilled about quiet quitting.
Yeah.
Because it means the competition is sleeping on you, bro.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, like, if you're in an organization that's growing and you want to get ahead and you want your boss's job, you are literally usually a day or 2 away from actually being able to do it. Mm-hmm. The reason for that is because, like, I'm going to give away cards, so maybe don't promote this one to the team. But, like, if someone showed up to our conference where we told them you can come for free, just be part of the audience.
Our team members.
Yeah, team members. If someone just showed up every single day on the front row and was taking notes of every single lecture and was, like, completely engaged, I guarantee you they'd be promoted. Yeah. Guarantee it.
Yeah.
Because all of us would be like, that person's awesome. If they were, like, connecting with everyone, making them feel welcome and, like, just, like, super involved. Mm-hmm. Like, dude, I'm telling you, that it literally would take 1 weekend. You'd be hired. You'd get something.
Yeah.
Because it'd be like, oh, we got to use this person.
Yeah.
So, like, I just think people got creative. Like, if someone flew and be like, hey, I know you're going somewhere. I just want to be there. I'm just gonna fly there. I don't have to fly with you. I'm just gonna be there. And I want to support you.
Yeah.
Like, it might be a year from now, but you're gonna get promoted.
Yeah.
Like, it's just. So quiet quitting is a great thing. It's like, literally, it'd be like all the competition around here, for example, in mowing, being like, we're not going to do any marketing. I'd be like, we're all in on marketing. So that's what a good employee that is wanting to get ahead and values money and promotion, et cetera.
Yeah.
They'd see this as a great opportunity.
Yeah. If I were, like, a mid-level employee somewhere, like a big corporation, I would be thrilled out of my mind about quiet quitting because I would just show up and work twice as hard.
The challenging part with big organizations is, does working hard lead to that fast of a result? Usually it takes years just to get in front of the right person.
Yeah.
And if you're like a company that was like under 100 people where, like, the top of the org will have one day see you, like, even once a month, usually you can go up very quickly. Mm-hmm. And so like, I genuinely believe most frontline team members are 3 to 5 days worth of high performance between, like, doubling their paycheck.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude. That's awesome. That's so cool. Well, we have to be careful of that, though. So now, Huffington Post wrote a recent article. Uh-oh. Now they're warning these workers that we were just talking about, trying to inspire, trying to uplift, right? Trying to hold their leaders accountable.
Oh, yeah.
Huffington Post said,
Yeah.
you need to watch out for quiet promoting.
Quiet promoting. That's true. I would agree with that. Like quiet promoting, I would assume is like people just promoting people because like they know so and so, or you mean like promoting for no reason at all?
Your boss gives you an extra task, and then an extra task, and then an extra task.
Got it.
And then you've essentially been promoted, but your salary and your title have not changed.
True. And what I would argue is you might have to put up with that for a little while. It's if that's going for a very long time, then you should be concerned and you should jump ship.
Yeah.
But like if you're doing it for a while, that's probably what is required to get noticed.
Right. Well, I think back to my personal experience before we really knew each other. My first year at Augusta, you gave me an opportunity. You were going on like you had some weekend away. I don't know if you were on a conference or something, and you basically just told me, you were like, you're going to do the estimates on Friday.
I think I did Anytime Fitness training.
Oh, nice.
I think that's what it was.
Nice, yeah. But you were basically like, you're going to do the estimates on Friday. And I didn't go, well, do I get paid like you or anything? Like I was just like, okay, cool. Yeah. Like I'd love to learn estimates. And so I just asked you a bunch of questions. I asked Liz a bunch of questions and I did it. And then, whatever, 5-6 months later, then I became the estimator. But that was you giving me a task that wasn't my pay scale, but kind of testing me to see if I could do it, to see if I would rise to the occasion. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I do think there is something wrong with, absorb this person's projects and positions and we're phasing him out and cutting the fat. Right. Like, then there should maybe be some sort of promotional raise or compensation. But I don't think being challenged by your boss or being given extra tasks automatically means like you're being quiet promoted. That's what I don't like, is how like quick we are to like put a label on something and say, oh, that's quiet promoting, I'm not going to do it.
How you could also look at this though, if you wanted to, is, okay, great, I'm going to take this promotion, not get any more money, take this skill, get really good at it, nail it, because they keep giving me these more tasks, and then I'm going to leave with more skills I otherwise would not have gotten because they were basically weaseling me out of my time. Yeah. So like, it's just how you look at it. Like every day you're either getting money or you're getting educating and learning something. And you're usually going to exchange one of those things. Like if you're going to have a really boring dead end job, in terms of like labor side, you're probably not going to learn a whole lot, but you'll get your paycheck, right? There's going to be a time where you sacrifice a little of the money side in order to learn something. And that's usually that first part that people aren't willing to do, which is, oh, like I got to go read this book to learn about something so Monday I can perform well. Like most people aren't willing to do the extra work on the Saturday, right? So they'll spend the next 2 years trying to figure out what they could have just read on off hours on a Saturday and just figured it out and then perform well and got promoted. Yeah. So, it's kind of like the quote I came up with last night. Dude, I was so happy about that quote. Did you see it?
What was it? Which one?
Yeah, I put
it was like the You're Remarkable?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I can't remember it off the top of my head.
I wrote it last night. It was, I said, it was a note to myself, and I clipped it out for Francis. Yeah. It said, I will not say that I cannot afford something. I will say I'm not willing to sacrifice what is required. Yeah. Right. And so I'd say the same thing about promotion and all the rest of it. It's like, if you're not willing to sacrifice what is required for the promotion, and that's typically going to be exerting more than what is being given for a temporary amount of time, then you're not going to get anywhere. Yeah. You're not willing to pay the price. Yeah.
I guess based on that quote, let me give a shout out to Dylan.
Shout out.
Who's your new general manager.
I was going the same direction.
He's your new general manager at Bellingham.
Yep.
19 years old. Yep. And he's going to run a $1.5 million company.
Yeah, and they don't make much more than the guys in the field.
Nope, they don't make much more than the guys in the field. And we had a little bit of a worrisome period because Marcus is going to move to Redmond and start his own Augusta location. And we were toying around with a couple different guys. And I think now it's so easy when, what hindsight's 20/20, like you have perfect vision. The two guys that we thought might replace Marcus, like both asked about money like right away. Yeah. And I don't want to name them, but you know who I'm talking about. And like Dylan just was like, cool, yeah, I'd love to learn from you, Marcus. Yeah. And it's just like shows the attitude that like I'm just here to learn and to better myself. Yeah. So.
And it's not to say that money doesn't follow, right?
No.
Because like Marcus, he did the same thing. And he actually, I don't know, I can't say that. If he makes less than Dylan now. But anyways, when he started, like it wasn't that much in terms of pay. But like he went out with the biggest bonus that anyone has ever received in a quarter of a PGM. And it was phenomenal.
It was awesome.
Like it was probably more than he would have made in 6 months of work out in the field, just in a bonus check. But it's because he put in the work of an entire year of just doing the boring work. Yeah. And he got the payout.
So while talking about quiet promoting though. I had this thought because if I were being quiet promoted and being told to take on these extra tasks, learn all these extra skills on my own dime, on my own time, I think a pro, if you're not fully bought into the company that you work for, is potentially being like headhunted, right? Or having another recruiting company reach out to you like, oh, you're doing this job on top of your job and you're a high performer, you're going to get recruited by someone else. So have you ever been like recruited? Have people ever like, because I know you run your own business, but as a CEO, do you ever get recruited, or people being like, will you help run this for 6 months, or will you help consult on this project? Like, would you mind sharing? I'm intrigued.
Only when I was in the MBA program.
Okay.
It was very commonplace. Everyone was getting drafted.
Yeah.
So like Amazon, Boeing, and Microsoft, those are the three. And they were offering like a lot of money for me back then. More than my total revenue for the business.
Yeah.
But it gets to a point like when they see you doing as many things I'm doing now, like they know I can't unwind all of that.
Right.
Like I'm all in on everything. It's like if it was one business, it'd be like, hey, if you sell that, or we'll buy you out and acquire you, and then we'll absorb you into the talent. Like that's not happening right now.
Yeah.
Like there's just no way.
Do you ever get offered just like ridiculous cash to like consult on something, or like just help with a project? Or
no, because I offered the whole like you can book an hour of my time, and I usually just say if you want 10 hours, buy 10 of them. Like just keep it simple kind of thing. Yeah. I get a lot of people giving me money to promote their stuff, but like we just kind of had a hard no on that.
Yeah. I've just been intrigued by that. Like I have a friend who I know worked for a big recruiting company in Seattle, and I'm just like, that just seems like a wild business.
Yeah. No, Amazon gave me a really crazy offer about a year after leaving the MBA program, but by that time I was just like, I can't leave being a doctor. This is like whatever, pride, whatever. I can't leave becoming a doctor and then go work at Amazon. I just can't, even if it was a crazy amount of money. And I think I would have done pretty good there. Like I actually think I would have been pretty good mid-level executive.
Yeah.
If the environment was half decent, like I could be entrepreneurial, but not anymore. Not anymore. No. Yeah. And I would refuse anything. Like it would have to be. It'd have to be unheard of gobs of money, because I just couldn't. I wouldn't be able to. Like,
and it'd have to be something that you would like. It'd be once in a lifetime to like learn that and then take to your other projects.
Yeah, I can't afford it.
Yeah.
I'm not willing to pay the price.
You're not willing to pay the price. Fair enough. All right. I want to do a quick draft.
Okay.
So a lot of podcasts do this, so I don't want to like beat a dead horse. I've never heard this. Yeah, so drafts, right? So think about a sports draft, right? One team picks the first and the second, So it's just two of us. It's very simple. We just go back and forth. Okay?
And what are we drafting?
Here's what I want to draft, okay? And I have a couple ideas. Yeah. I know you and I are very technical people. We like to ask our clarifying questions, so let's try to riff a little. I'm like the worst person to play games with. I'm like, what was that rule again about that? Actually, go back a space. But what I want to do is, since we are to an extent a business podcast, let's take
we don't want to pigeonhole ourselves.
Let's take an 18-year-old Mike Andes versus an 18-year-old Lee Park. Okay. Don't have a lot of money, but you can have.
I knew you at 19 or 20, right? 20?
No, 22.
Okay.
22.
Okay.
Yeah. You get whatever you decide to draft. We're drafting business ideas or side hustles, but I'll give you the topic. Okay? I'll give you the topic of what the side hustle is. So to start your side hustle, you'll get whatever like starting material you need. So it's not like you have to like put a bunch of money into it. Okay, got it. So we're just gonna go back to back. Let's go. What do you think? 3 or 4 rounds? 3. Let's go 3 rounds.
I don't know what we're drafting. You're gonna give the ideas and I gotta choose one?
No. I'm just gonna say a topic and then you can have first overall pick. Holiday side hustles. So you're 18-year-old Mike Andes. I'm 18-year-old Lee Park. You got to go start a side hustle, make as much money as you can during the holiday season. Since we're in the holiday season now.
Definitely Christmas lights.
You're doing Christmas lights.
100%, dude. Because it's so holiday, but there's lots of margin.
Yeah.
Especially after your first year. Okay. You buy the lights and then you rent them out.
Okay. That's your pick? First pick?
That's my holiday lights, yeah.
First pick. All right, my first pick.
Yep. You've got all the time to think about this. I'm on the spot, bro.
But I asked you if you wanted the topic before.
Okay, good.
I don't think the camera was recording, but I did ask. My first pick, 1-1. I'm glad you took the lights because I didn't want lights, actually. My 1-1 is Christmas card photos. Every suburban mom wants to get the perfect Christmas card sent out to all her friends so her family can look better than their family.
You would
and
take
you
the
can charge
photos.
so much money for those, dude. You go to Hobby Lobby, you go to Home Goods, you get a bunch of fake Christmas trees and pillows and fake snow. You set it up in a public park so you don't have to pay anything, right? And you get a good camera.
Yeah.
Or even an iPhone, right?
Yeah.
You get a good camera, and you have families come and do 10-minute sessions, and you line them up on a Saturday.
That's a good idea.
Dude, I see people post that on like Facebook community groups.
Like $100?
It's ridiculous what they charge because they go and drop like $500 on decorations.
Right.
Set it up in a public place. You don't even have to have studio as long as the weather's good. And they just charge ridiculous money. That's my 1-1.
I like it.
Low overhead.
Yeah, dude.
And you just send them the photos. You don't even print them. You just give them the digital copies.
Yeah, the question is, could you do that like 5 days a week? Would you only be able to do that on Saturdays? It depends on where you're at. Like if you were in Times Square versus the local park.
Yeah.
Like, it's all about
But people would
marketing.
like book sessions. So you would get them pre-booked. So you could do a Saturday.
Could you get 500 people to do it at $100 a pop? Because that'd be $50,000.
Right. Dude, I think you could.
You think you get 500 people?
Not in our local community.
Like where?
Not
Seattle?
here. Yeah, like in a major city.
Yeah, like a big area.
Yeah.
$100, 10-minute session.
I don't know if they'd pay 100 for 10.
Well, then you got to do the math, bro. Because how much money are you trying to make here?
I'm thinking a 10-minute. If we're doing 10-minute sessions with a 5-minute break in between, so then you would do
$50 a pop. So that's $200 an hour.
$200 an hour. I'm thinking $200 an hour if you did that.
5 hours a day because it's limited light. That'd be max. $1,000 a day is the top.
Yeah.
If you do it 5 days a week.
Yeah. I don't know why you're breaking the math so aggressively. I think it's a great idea.
I'm just talking how big do you want to make this?
Yeah, but I'm 18 years old, right? So let's just I mean, but
okay, that's a good idea.
We can pretend it's just us,
It's
like
great
right now.
margins.
But if
Great
you're 18,
margins.
I
Love
think
it.
if you did the 5 Saturdays between Thanksgiving and Christmas, you can make $6,000 based on the math we just ran.
Oh yeah, it's a side
That's
hustle.
not
It's not like
bad.
a business.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it could turn into
your
a business.
business is better. I give you the win.
Yes, let's go.
Yeah,
All right,
I'll give you the
well,
win.
what's a draft? So I get 3, you get 3.
Mine is a better business. Yours is a better side hustle.
Yeah. So what's your second pick? We're picking.
Now I have to think.
Yeah.
For holidays, dude. See, you got all the time to think about
Holiday
this.
side hustle.
Anything to do. Oh man, I don't know. What was yours? I'll
go back to
Go
back.
ahead.
I don't know if I don't have my second one honestly picked. I kind of wanted to play off yours. I'm thinking I would do gift wrapping.
Gift wrapping.
Gift
Dude,
wrapping.
I would be a client, except I don't even use it.
I would do gift wrapping, and I would either do, I'm 18, so I can experiment, right? I would either try to go to maybe big stores and see if I can just set up outside, or I would, if I had like a centralized location, I would have people do like drop off and then pick up, so they could drop it off, and then they can say when they want to pick it up.
Like, who's gonna actually take the time to go drop off gifts to get them wrapped? And most stores offer free gift
Or
wrapping.
I go pick it up. It's a side hustle.
Oh,
I could
right,
go
so-
pick them up from them.
Dude, that's
So-
lousy margin with gas prices the way it is right now. You're getting like $5
I'm
max.
doing gift wrapping.
Would someone
all right?
give you $5 for one? You'd pay like $3.
Dude, I don't know, man. I think you're undervaluing it. I got you my target market.
Here's one for you.
All right.
Christmas tree decorating.
No. You're going to let
dude.
randos into your house? A rando 18-year-old kid?
No. We will cut it. We will bring it for you, and we pre-decorate it. We will then show up after Christmas, pick it up, and you will not have to think about it again.
So you're
Like,
going to go cut it.
I'm going to go cut it.
You're
I'm
gonna bring
going
it
to
to
have
them
a farm,
fresh.
bro. I'm going to keep
Well,
them out in the
okay.
backyard.
Dude, okay.
Going to decorate them. I'm going to bring them to your house, stick it there in the corner, and when Christmas is done, I'll come back and I'll take it away. No having to store the goods, like all the garbage.
Yeah.
No having to go cut the tree, but you get the smell.
All right. That's good.
Beautiful thing.
Okay. So you got your
Dude,
first...
you could easily charge $300 for that.
Yeah. you could.
Easy.
Yeah. All right. So you got Christmas lights. You got tree delivery, decoration, and hauling.
The full gig.
And I got
Gift
Christmas
wrapping.
photos.
I
and gift
win
wrap.
on that, bro.
Yeah, you win round
totally
2. You win
win
round 2.
round
You win round 2.
Let's go.
You're in round 2. I don't know.
Redemption
We got to check
round.
the time here.
We got 9
All right,
minutes.
let's do round 3. All right, I'm going. Do you have a round 3 pick? I'll give it to you if you have another idea.
I don't. Go ahead.
You just get so jacked on your own ideas and tearing mine down so aggressively.
I gotta win.
Here's mine. It's actually a job we could both have. I'm gonna go with mall Santa, and you can be my elf.
Yeah, let's go. We'd totally crush it, dude.
We'd crush Mall Santa and Elf.
Dude, I get dressed up. I go crazy.
Go Mall Santa. It's easy.
Yeah,
or like your local sports store. We have a local old sports store that's been around for like 100 years. They do like Mall Santa photos.
Yeah. What about this? What about if you were a Santa officiator and you did weddings around Christmas? That would crush.
Is there a market for that?
I totally think you can do it. In Washington State, you can become an officiator for a wedding, like a minister in like 10 seconds online.
A Santa officiant?
You dress up as Santa. Then you'd have the elves and like, I don't know, the ladies could dress up like reindeer. I don't know. And then you just be like, hey, like meet at the mall around Santa and we'll like it'd be great.
Dude, I don't know about that one.
I know. I think that's a lot. What was your third one again?
My third one was being a Santa. Like a mall Santa.
Yeah, see, I stepped it up, bro. I got creative.
You went to the people.
You went so original and off, originality, officiating weddings.
I like boring businesses. The boring business is Santa at the mall.
And mine's tech enabled, though.
Yeah, that's
my
fair.
Santa's, you can have a tap of a button on the app.
Does your Santa include AV? Like, is he going to do the audio at the wedding, too?
Dude, this is a side hustle. We do not have
All right, fair enough.
Okay, we got to close. We got a webinar starting.
We got to close it out. Thanks for listening.
Let's go.
We'll see you.
Cool.